guys, welcome to Vedic Clothing is Fun to Sew. Today we are going to be cutting our butterfly dress, or you can call it boo-boo. It depends on how free you want yours to be, and I call mine butterfly dress. The measurement will be needed. Making this dress is very easy to make, very easy, trust me. And the measurement you'll be needing for this dress is your shoulder measurement, your bust measurement, your waist measurement, and your hip measurement, and the length of your dress. And also you need the length of all these measurements, and also the round measurement of your bust, of your waist, of your hip, and also of the length of your dress. So the first thing we'll be doing is to measure our shoulder measurement. Okay, to measure our shoulder measurement, but I want to get a starting point where my measurement will begin from. The starting point. So I'm just marking this part of the fabric. I don't want it to show. So that's it. So if you want to do yours now, for you to be able to know the width of your fabric that you'll be using, you have to know the length of your sleeve. Where do you want the boo-boo sleeve to get to? Mine, right now, what I have altogether, the width of my fabric is 17.5, and my shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 8 inches, which is this. And what do I have as extra for my sleeve is 9.5, so I'll be using 9 as my sleeve. That means from your shoulder to where you want the boo-boo to get to is 9. It's going to be here. So the ½ inch at the side, I'm going to be using it as my seam allowance. So this is what you're going to do right now. The way I cut my fabric, I cut it so that I will have my back and my front together. So you cut it equally, since we are not going to be putting a zipper. So I have the two, they are on fold, they are here. So I have my back and my front immediately. As I'm cutting the two together. So right now I want to measure my shoulder. Shoulder measurement is 8. And what do I have left for my sleeve length? 9.5. So I'll be using the ½ inch for seam allowance. So let's assume it's just 9 I have left. Then the next thing is to measure your length, shoulder to bust length. Mine is 11. Shoulder to bust length. So you connect a straight line. Or you can use a chalk, whichever one that is more visible. This is it. This is my shoulder to my bust. The next thing is your shoulder to waist. My shoulder to my waist is 16 inches. 16 inches. Shoulder to waist, 16 inches. Shoulder to waist, 16 inches. Don't mind the chalk. So now you connect it together. This dress is very easy to make. Within 30 minutes you can be done making this dress, because what I'm cutting out is not so much. So the next thing is my shoulder to my hip. My shoulder to hip is 25.5 inch. My shoulder to my hip, 25.5. Mark it. Shoulder to hip, 25.5 inch. This is it. Then you connect the line together. And I want the length of my dress to be 43. I want the length of my dress to be 43. So let's see how many do we have here. Now we have up to 46. We have up to 46. So this is the length of my dress. I want it to be 43 inches. The length of my dress, 43 inches. I want it to be 43 inches. So now I connect it Remember, I've not added my hem allowance. It's just the major length I want. That's 43 inches. So now, after you have done that, so I want the circumference. And for your circumference, since this is a boo-boo, your original circumference, you add not less than 8 inches, between 8 and 9 inches, depends on how free you want it to be. Since I'm not going to be putting a zipper, so that I'll be able to wear it. So you add 8 up to 8 to 10 inches to your original circumferences. Now for my bust, my round measurement for my bust is 40. So when I add extra 8 inches to it, that is 48. And normally, you know, we have to divide our circumferences by 4 since I'm cutting on fold. So now 48. Remember, my original measurement is 40. I added my extra 8 inch for ease, which makes it 48. Now 48 divided by 4, I have 12 inches. So this is the 12 inches. We measure the 12 inches. So now for my waist, my original waist is 35. You add extra 8 inches to it. What do you have? You have 43. So 43 divided by 4, I think I have 10.25. I want my boo-boo to have the shape, to be shaped out, bring out my shape, and the butterfly will now come out of it. And for my hip is 45 inches plus the extra 8 inches for ease. That is 53 inches divided by 4. We need to divide by 4 since we are cutting on fold. So divided by 4, you have 13.25 inches. 13.25 inches. So you mark it. So now when you are done marking, now I want to connect what I marked. So I'm not cutting out anything. I will just bring out this shape. When I'm sewing my boo-boo, I'll just bring out this shape. I've added my ease. I'll just bring out this shape. This one is going to be a straight line. A straight line. So I'll just bring out this shape. So we can use a pencil to make it come out. This is the shape. I'll just bring out this shape. And for the hem allowance, the hem circumference, you can just use the same circumference with your hip. My hip, I used 13.25, so you can use the same circumference. If you want it to be tapered a little bit, you can do that on your own. So mine, I just want to use the same circumference with my hip. So let me use my chalk first, then I'll use the pencil. So you can still trace it with the pencil. So this is it. And for you to know your armhole, if you know you are not, for those that are between small size and medium, you can use like 10 as your armhole, between 8 and 10. But if you know you are on the big side, you can use like between 12. You can use 12, between 10 and 12 as your armhole. So right now, that is from your shoulder. Right now, let's see what we have here. So I want to use 10 as my armhole. So this is where I'm going to start my stitches from 10. I'm going to start my stitches from this point, 10. So for my neckline, I want my neck width. This is my shoulder, and I want it to be wide a little bit. So I want it to be wide up to like 6 inches for the neck width. And for the neck depth, how deep, I don't want it to be so deep. I want it to be up to like 4 inches. 4 inches. So you connect it. Connect it. So when you have done connecting it, and I want to bring out a shape at the end of my butterfly. You can make yours straight, but for me right now, I want to bring out like a U shape from it Yes, I want to bring out a U shape from my butterfly. You can make yours to be straight, and you can play around with your butterfly, whatever shape you want to come out of it. I want to bring out a U shape from my butterfly. I want to come like this. And use your hip cuff to do that. So when we are done sewing, you see the shape that came out of it. I want to bring out a U shape. For my butterfly. You can do it like this, or you can bring the U shape from here. Whichever one you want. You can make this one to still be straight. Then you bring out the U shape from it like this. You can just play around with it, whatever you want. You can play around with it. This is just me doing my thing just this way. And don't forget, before we cut, let's add our seam allowance. For this hem, I'll be using a bias to hem it. So I just need 1/2 inch as my hem allowance. I'll be showing you how to use a bias to hem. So I just need 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch is my hem allowance. Because I'll be using the bias, so I just need 1/2 inch. So this is for the front and the back. Remember, I folded it. This is the shape that's going to come out. And for the neckline, my front and back is the same thing. Yes. So I need 1/2 inch for the shoulder seam. Let's see if this is up to 1/2 inch. Okay, it's even more than 1/2 inch. Let's bring out the 1/2 inch for the shoulders seam allowance. I'm taking out 1/2 inch for the shoulder seam allowance. Shoulder seam allowance, just 1/2 inch is what I need. I'm taking out I'm cutting just little out of it. Yes. So right now, you see the front and the back of our butterfly. We are going to be sewing it. Be stitching it. You see the shape I brought out. This is going to be very, very interesting. So what I'll do now, I will stitch the shoulder together. When you are done stitching the shoulder, then the shape I brought out, I'm going to take out that shape down to the hem. Then I'm going to hem this part, this side. You can use a bias to do that. I'll be showing you when we are sewing it. And for the neckline, I would prefer you use a bias to do the hemming, to turn the neckline. A bias, it makes it neater. Thank you. So let's go to sewing this beautiful butterfly dress. Thank you.